Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Steelers Nation Unite Weekly Huddle. I'm Missy Matthews, joined today by defensive coordinator Keith Butler. Coach Butler, thanks for taking some time for the fans today. All right, let's get to these questions. We have a lot of them coming in. This one is from Corinne. She wants to know, what does it take to be a coach? I'm graduating from high school and want to know where to start.
A lot of to get to this level, a lot of people start in college and then work their way up, and some of them are GAs, graduate assistants at different colleges, and they get their opportunity there. And if they do good work, then there's always jobs for good coaches that are hardworking.
All right, our next question is from KJ. Great job last season, Coach Butler. I'm excited to see our defense improve even more this season. Who has been the biggest inspiration to you as a coach?
I had a guy that I played for in Seattle. This guy named was Tom Captain. Very quiet, humble guy, but very knowledgeable about the game, and he probably had the biggest effect on me.
This next question is from Muhammad. Wants to know, who did you look up to growing up, and what is your favorite memory as a Steelers coach?
Oh, there's two questions there. The guys we looked up to where I grew up at. I grew up in Alabama, North Alabama, a place called Huntsville, Alabama, and of course Bear Bryant was coaching down at the University of Alabama then. And if you live in the state of Alabama, you either are an Auburn fan or an Alabama fan. And my family was an Alabama fan. So we looked at Joe Namath. I thought Joe Namath was good. A guy named uh, Ken Staver played down there. I mean, there were a lot of good players that come out of the University of Alabama, and we just kind of idolized those guys, hoping to be those guys one of these days.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other one?
Favorite memory as a Steelers coach?
Oh, the Super Bowls.
Easy.
I've been to 3 Super Bowls, won 2 of them. Of course, the 2 we won, that was
your favorites.
Yeah, more favorite, than the other one. So no doubt about it. The Super Bowls and what it took, and the guys that we won with. A great bunch of people. So I was fortunate to be in that group.
Okay. Our next question, they did not give us a name, but they want to know, how will the defense be stronger this year in order to help the offense take control of the game clock?
Well, I mean, the game clock is something that, time possession is always very important. I think the times that we were number 1 in the league in defense, our time possession, we had the ball at least a minute more than we've had in the last couple of years. But if we can control the ball, we can get off the field, we can get turnovers, then we'll end up being pretty good.
All right, this next question is from Steve. He said, Coach, when evaluating the talent of inside linebackers, do you have a pecking order for what's most important? He gives examples: causing turnovers, spots in the backfield, coverage ability, speed, tackling, etc. Thank you and good luck in the season.
All of the above. I mean, that's a good list. Hopefully, the instincts are pretty big too with inside linebackers. I mean, 2 of the best that I've had here. James Ferrier and Larry Foote, both of them are very instinctive football players at inside, and they did a good job playing inside. And of course, those Super Bowls I talked about, they were a big part of them. So that's what I look for in inside linebackers: good instincts, can run, very aggressive, and if we get that out of them, then I feel pretty good about it.
All right, this next question is from Mitch in New Zealand. Who are you most excited about from the draft and also from the undrafted guys? And who are you expecting to take a massive step forward this season in terms of leadership and playing time?
Oh, that's 2 questions.
That's
the one question. No, anyway, I think our young guys, a couple of young guys. I mean, we like our draft, but you never know until we get pads on and see them go against the veterans and see how they react in preseason, and really until they start playing in the regular season and they get used to the speed of the game, you don't know what you have. But we're hopeful. We're hopeful that Artie Burns will be the guy that we think he can be. We realize that there's some some ways for him to go because he's a very young guy. He came out early. John Jones. We think all our draft picks are good. The safety we picked up from Maryland. He could play corner or safety. So we're excited about him being able to cover tight ends or wide receivers. The defensive lineman we got from South Carolina State, Hargrave, we feel like he's going to help us quite a bit in terms of rushing. We feel like the people we got here are good players, and it's going to be hard for them to push those guys. But we feel good about the whole draft at this point now. We'll know a lot more after a year.
We'll know in Latrobe, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe.
Stay tuned, right?
Yes.
All right, this next question is from TR Miller 24. Wants to know, what have you learned from your first year as defensive coordinator?
Oh, I've learned a lot. This is, I was a defensive coordinator in college too, so this is not my first rodeo but it is in terms of the competition. It's very, very close competition. There's a lot of games in college that are real mismatches that going in that you're going to lose the game. The National Football League, there's no game that we go into knowing that we're going to win that game. There's no game. So it's always something I've always knew, but it kind of reinforced what I thought is the turnover takeaway ratio is big, is huge. You've got to get more turnovers than the opposing team gets on your team, and tackling is huge. So those things for us, we have to be good tacklers. We have to make sure that we don't make any mental mistakes. And we've got to get the ball. We've got to get the ball back for our offense. Our offense is very powerful. You give them a bunch of chances to score, they're going to score on you. So we've got to get them more chances to score.
All right, we just want to let everybody know the keyword for today is blitz. So head to SteelersNationUnite.com, enter the keyword blitz. Back to your questions. This one is from Steve. He said it's a very important question. Wants to know your favorite Memphis barbecue. That's an easy one, right?
Well, no, it's not. They have Memphis, what's called Memphis in May down there, and they set aside a weekend in May, and what they do is they barbecue down on the river, down on the Mississippi River, and they have barbecue contests down there and all that stuff. But the people that sell it for a living, there's a place called Rendezvous down there that's renowned all over the country. But there's a place called Corky's too. I think both of those are good. What I really like about the barbecue down there, as opposed to barbecue everywhere else, they have what they call dry rub ribs, and they put some seasoning on the ribs and they cook them, all night long, and the meat just falls off the bone. That, along with baked beans and coleslaw and potato salad, is pretty.
You're making everybody hungry.
Well, you could get fat down there in a minute.
All right, well, sticking with food, because it is lunchtime, Ryan wants to know, thanks for answering our questions today. His question is, your favorite place to eat in Pittsburgh?
Oh.
We're really putting you on the spot today.
Yeah, that's not fair to everybody. I like Capitol Grill. There's a lot of places I like here. I mean, Morton's, Capitol Grill, Hyde Park, everywhere. There's a lot of good places in this town. I don't want to not mention Heinz place out up east, or JB's place down by the stadium. So those are good places. All good places.
All right. Next question from Heather. She wants to know, what is the biggest improvement you'd like to see this season?
I think our pass defense has to improve quite a bit. And I think we're capable of doing that. We end up 30th in the league last year. We had very favorable stats in a lot of different areas, but that wasn't one of them. We'd like to get a lot better there. We feel like we can gain that. We will be better just because of they know a little bit more what to expect from me and what to expect from this coaching staff. So we should be better.
Okay. Next question is from Doug. Wants to know how first-round draft pick Artie Burns looked in rookie camp.
He looked good, but he looked like he still needs some work. Rookies, a lot of times it's very difficult for them to make the transition. Artie is young, very young. He hadn't. This would have been his senior year if he'd stayed in Miami. So he's played. His playing time is not extensive in terms of playing down at Miami. He's played some games. He's had some interceptions. He's had some success down there. But success, again, in college is different than success in the National Football League, mainly because these guys are bigger, stronger, and faster and smarter. And I repeat, smarter, because it's a big thing in the National Football League. A lot of people that play what we call above the neck usually last a while in the National Football League. So it's very important that he understands concepts and what's going on with the people that we're playing, and how what they do well, and what they're going to try to do to us. So those are some things he's got to learn, and it only comes with experience.
All right, just a few more. We got to get you out of here. This one, I don't know what the name is, but here's the question. With the departure of Steve McClendon, can you give us an idea of what we're likely to see with the nose tackle position in the coming season?
We've got McCullers. I mean, he needs to come on, and I think he will come on. He's been with us a couple of years now. We think he's going to be a pretty good player. He's a big man. He's a huge human being. I mean, you walk up next to this guy and you're going, man, he looks like a giant. But he moves well. He's going to play well for us. That's going to give us time to bring along some of the young guys on the defensive line, and so that's going to help us quite a bit. The nose, what's happened in the National Football League in terms of what people are playing. We used to play a 34, and it would be like 50% of the time. That's not the case now, because everybody's playing more wide receivers in the offense. So we have to match up with them. What they put in the game, we put people in the game to match that up. And as a consequence, we're playing more of a four-man front than we are a 34 front. And so what I'm telling you there is, it's almost 75% more wide receivers than having a nose guard in the game. And nose guard in the game is probably 25% of the time. So while they are very important, and you do want them to be able to stop the run and stuff like that, the emphasis is moving away from run down your throat type football and try to throw the ball all over the place.
Gotcha. All right, last question. This is about one of your favorite people, James Harrison. Wants to know if you could place a value on what he means to the young linebackers, just his work ethic and how to be a professional.
Well, I don't know if you can place a value on that, because, I had the good fortune to be here when he first got here, and how far he's come and what he's done to make the team. He came in, he was the best special teams player we had. Bill Cowher was the coach at the time. Bill said somebody's going to make the team just because they're a great special teams player. He was that guy. And then Joey Porter got thrown out of the game against Cleveland. And he came in and did a wonderful job. And the end of the year, Joey's contracted up, and we said bye-bye.
You can say that now, right?
I know it. But anyway, what happened that year, not only did he play well for Joey, he went to the other side and played. Clark Hagan's got hurt in the game, San Diego game. So every time he got a chance to play, he played well. And he kept, he made some mental mistakes, but he kept working at it. He had Mia Daudet, our secretary upstairs, to type out stuff that he could put on his wrist and remind himself of what he's supposed to do. That's how he learned the defense. So he did what he had to do to learn the defense and be a part of the defense, and he ended up, having a great career. He's not finished yet, but if you just look at how hard he works in the off season, how hard he works during the season in terms of studying the game and the game plan and stuff like that, if you just do that, you're going to be a good football player.
All right. Well, Butts, thank you so much for your time. Thank you to the fans for joining us. Don't forget, today's keyword is blitz. We'll see you next time for the Weekly Huddle.